No one asked me how I was. No one asked me if it was traumatizing or if it was upsetting to have to share those details. And no one to this day from the White House has reached out to apologize. My face was on all of the political talking shows and on a lot of the network news programs. Not my name. I was Rob Porter's ex-wife. When I started telling everybody, I'm not going to talk about Rob in the White House anymore, but let me know when you want me to talk about recovery and abuse and resiliency, I'm all for it. It very quickly stopped. The interest stopped. Somebody who's in an abusive relationship right now, they're going to see how I came forward and was ignored. Why weren't people asking me how I got to that place? How I was able to pick up the pieces of my former life and get to where I am now, because that is the story that's going to save thousands, if not millions, of people who are currently in domestic abuse situations. I think it's important to tell the story about what was happening in the White House and about what happened with my ex-husband and security clearance, but I also think that it is as important, if not more important, for us to have a conversation about domestic violence. The cycle of abuse, the reason why it's so insidious is because it starts slow enough that by the time it becomes something dangerous, you're sort of desensitized to it. Even as the fights became more volatile with yelling and throwing and breaking things, that I actually felt the need to call the police or sometimes to run out barefoot to the neighbor's house to escape what I was experiencing. The trauma was less about each individual isolated situation and more about that systematic ripping apart of everything that I was confident about myself. I finally got the strength to leave multiple times before it was actually final. It was from my own spiritual work, from work with therapists, from talking to friends who had been in similar situations. I was shocked at how many friends that I spoke with who, to some degree or another, knew what I was going through. He was going to lose his job anyway because of the security clearance issue, right? Like, what was more important was that my story was told and believed and talked about, and because that didn't happen, someone who's in a situation right now might lose the confidence and the strength and the hope that they had that telling their story was going to make any difference in their life. And so I think holding the media accountable, asking questions, writing letters, saying we want to know more, what are you going to do about this, is the way to get people interested in talking about it. In terms of moving forward with compassion and grace and love and healing our country, this is an important story. This is not one that's going to disappear in 3 years when we have a new administration. This is one that's going to continue for generations until we start to talk about how we ended up here.